Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you've joined us on our live stream this morning just to give you some indication of who's going to be driving which team in the club championships. It's season 4, and obviously, we decided to do a couple of things. Hopefully, you can all hear me nice and clear. And what we're going to do in about 2 or 3 minutes, so we'll just give you an indication who's driving for who and what and where. So if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up, and we'll go on with what's happening and the selection. Those who haven't joined, well, you're going to have to watch this in the rear. And I don't mean that literally, but you're going to have to watch it after we've completed all the sessions. Thanks, Nesmax. Good to see that thumbs up. And yep, Whoopi. It is Whoopi time. And also Marius. Nice to have you with us on the live stream, as well as Ati. And as I said, what we would do is, it is the 1st of May, and we are going to be announcing all of the things that are happening and who's going to be taking part per team. So it's going to be clubs, and then what we're going to do is we're going to be announcing which teams they will be driving for in this season 4. So it's going to be exciting as well. And obviously, remember, on the 5th of May we start the season 4 at round about plus 2 hours GMT time. So it will be round about 7 o'clock South African time. And I can tell you now, it's going to be an exciting one. Everybody's going to be ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just start the intro, and then we'll start with the selection. So obviously, all the effects of what we're doing at the South African Academy Online, this is the club champions. And teams and driver selections are in no way a part of the representation of drivers' teams which are depicted in the F1 2018 or 2019 official game of Codemaster. However, our league drivers are privileged and grateful to support the brands which are represented in the F1 2018 official video game. And a special thanks goes out to the Formula One teams as well as the drivers, Codemasters, for providing a platform for the fans to enjoy the thrill of F1 racing. Let's start off with the first team that is going to be obviously taking place and part in this championship. That is TNB, and TNB, the champion and reigning champion for season 2 and season 3, was obviously Motor DW, formerly known as David or DW, and his team selection was given to him. He had the opportunity to select which drivers as well as which teams he wanted represented, because he is currently the reigning champion of the South African Academy Online Racing. So one of his first selections were the absolute, what he has won both championships in, is the Toro Rosso team. So that will be allocated to TNB, and they will use that team in the forthcoming event of Season 4. Newcomers to this particular league, club champion, is the Easy Riders. And there they have already formulated a 4-man squad. And I tell you what, it's going to be exciting for them. The selection that we did was we drew out of a hat. And what I've done is, for this particular presentation, is put it together and obviously put which drivers, or should I say, which teams or clubs will be driving with that particular per se. So their first selection that came out of the hat was obviously the BW. This has now been renamed. It's no longer Force India. It's going to be very much in line with Racing Point. So they have been selected to drive in that particular format, and you can see right now who it is. That was their selection. And coming up, a new team which has been entered is called Sims Stuff Racing. This is a new team to this league, and I can tell you what, it's going to be an exciting event for them as well, because they managed out of the draw to get this particular team, Ferrari. So Ferrari will be going under the Sim Stuff Racing, and they will be having that opportunity to take part in this Season 4 racing. I can tell you what, we haven't finished right then, because the next team that was drawn out of the hat for selection was the South African Academy Online Racing. And I tell you what, their selection out of the hat was definitely a very interesting one for them, and that was actually the SAAOLR, or the Alfa Romeo Racing Team as it's now known. So they have got that particular team in their selection for this upcoming event. And then, very interesting enough, we managed to obviously secure a number of drivers in the SAACO round, which is exciting for us. Another very strong contender from a club perspective, very much into project cars, but they managed to put a team together, and this is exciting for us as well as we take on this club championship. And I can tell you now, their first selection out of the hat was actually the team Haas. So Haas F1 team was selected out of the hat for them in this particular round. So there you go. At the moment, the first teams have been put into position, and you can see already it's going to be an interesting spread across the entire region for them as well. So if we go on now and we see who is the complete team and who is taking part, as I mentioned, for the F1 champion of Season 2 and 3, he was able to select his next team, and that will be the Red Bull team of the Aston Martin. So Red Bull Racing puts them in. They're both teams announced there for them, which is the Toro Rosso team as well as the Red Bull Racing team. So that was a great effort from them, and I'm sure they're going to be doing well in that particular event. If we move over now to, as I mentioned, what was going on with the Easy Rider team. As I said, they were selected second out of the hat, and their team following forward will be Williams. So they will be going with Williams. So Easy Riders will definitely be Racing Point, and then on to the Williams team. They will have, that is their second team that they would be racing for. So that is a great indication going on there at the moment. All right, if we go through to the racing stuff, or should I say sim stuff racing, they had drawn McLaren. So McLaren was drawn out of the hat for them, and they will be racing with the McLaren team. So both Ferraris and McLaren in that house as well. So if we quickly have a look at some of the other So, in other words, the South African Academy Online Racing side, it would be obviously Renault and the Sabre team or Alfa Romeo team for them. And those are the two team selections for the South African Academy Online Racing team. If we go now to our last sector, you've probably guessed it by now, but we'll have to put it on screen anyway. I can tell you right now, an exciting event for them, and they're going to have the Haas and the Mercedes-Benz team available for them, so that's going to be all going down to that. That now completes our overall selection for this upcoming event in the Season 4, and I can tell you what, it's going to be an absolute season to watch, and I can tell you now, everybody's going to be enjoying what's going to be happening at this particular point. So as I mentioned, on the 5th of May, we definitely will be doing that drive through, and I can tell you now, as I mentioned to you, it will be in China. That will be the first race, and I can tell you now, it's going to be an exciting event for all. And that concludes our live stream on the South African Club Championships Esports Series Season 4. This was the live club team announcement, and I can tell you what, it's going to be an absolute dinger. So hopefully you're going to be joining us. Hopefully there's lots of thumbs up, and I can tell you now, the event is going to be an exciting one to watch, so don't miss out on the 5th of May. That's this coming Sunday. We're going to be taking you through some of the greatest racing you're ever going to see here in South Africa. So join us on the live stream. It's on this channel, and we're going to have an absolute blast. Just a little bit about the racing that's going to be taking place. Obviously, no assists, no lines, nothing's going to be available. The guys are going to have to put themselves together, make sure they have their braking points, and it's going to be an absolute blast. So please, let's support these guys. They really put a lot of effort and a lot of time into their driving, and it's all going to be happening here on the South African Academy Online Racing. So thank you once again for watching this live stream announcement, and we'll see you on Sunday the 5th of May at 7 p.m. to watch the first in series number 4 of the South African Academy Online Racing Series Esports Series. Thanks once again.